Hey, welcome back to EnglishZeal.com. So, we're going to go over the words and culture from story number 8, which is chick flick. This was a fun one. So, we have 15 different phrases that we're going to go over and explain, and you can find them listed down below the video. We're going to go through them one by one, start to finish, and then talk about the story a little bit. So, here we go. The first one, number 1. In the story, he says, "This last weekend, my girl," he said, tried to get me to go to the movie. "This last weekend, my girl." Now, this may make sense to you, and it may not. I wanted to explain it a little bit because it's not so common in English. In this case, when he says my girl, he means my wife or my girlfriend. It can really mean either one. It's kind of more commonly used in the south of the US, and it's a very friendly or very familiar way of saying it. When you talk about my girl, as opposed to my girlfriend or my wife. You just say my girl. So he says, "This last weekend, my girl tried to do something." This last weekend, my girl tried to do something. It's very familiar, very friendly, and very informal. And again, I'm pretty sure that it's very southern too. It's one of those things that feels like a kind of a southern thing in the US. So, my girl just means girlfriend or wife, just the woman that I'm with. Okay? So, number 2. Say, "She finally dragged me to this chick flick." Here we go, hitting the title of the story early on. She finally dragged me to this chick flick. And so chick flick is what we're going to talk about first. So we talk about a chick flick. They're both slang terms, and I think if I explain them, you'll kind of understand what it means. So chick is another word for woman. When we talk about, "I saw some chicks today," it's talking about women, and typically we use that to mean, pretty women, or young women. "I saw some chicks today." So chick just means woman. And again, or not again, chick is kind of offensive, a little offensive, to refer to a woman as a chick. It's kind of derogatory, or it's kind of saying that she's not a person. It's emphasizing that she's attractive, or making it very. It's not saying about her as a person. It's not talking about her as a person. It's more saying she's attractive. When you say a chick, she's a chick. So if you call someone a chick or talk about seeing some chicks, it's offensive to women. A little bit. It's not really offensive, but it's still a little offensive. And then the word flick is slang for movie. You say, "I'm going to go see a flick this weekend." That just means I'm going to go see a movie. No different from the word movie. We just say a flick or a movie. I typically don't use the word flick. It's a little silly to me. I just don't like it. But a lot of people do use it just to mean movie. I saw this flick last weekend. It's just another way of saying movie. And so when we talk about a chick flick, we're talking about a woman's movie. So we're talking about a chick flick. We're talking about a movie that's mainly designed to be for women. when they created the movie, when they made the movie, they were mainly thinking women are going to want to come to see this. And when we talk about chick flicks, most of the time people think about romantic movies. Movies about romance, about men and women getting together and loving each other. We say romance movies. We also call them chick flicks. And when we call it a movie, when we call a movie a chick flick, it's derogatory to the movie. It's talking bad about the movie. When we say she wanted to see this chick flick, it's an insult to the movie. It's saying it's a stupid movie. It's a chick flick. One of those movies where there's just romance and kissing and it's all fake and stupid. When you say the word chick flick, you're saying it like it means that. A movie with just a bunch of stupid girl stuff that no one cares about. It's talking bad about the movie. And so she dragged me to this chick flick. Now, when we say she dragged me to this chick flick. See, when we use dragged here, it means the same as bring. She brought me or she took me. It just means she made me go to the movie, or she had me go with her to the movie. But when we say she finally dragged me, she dragged me. Now, when you think of dragging someone or something, to drag is to pull something that doesn't come easy, that doesn't move easy. You think, even if it does move easy, really, it's just to pull something behind you. We talk about dragging something. Something's over here. I have a rope or something and I drag it with me. I pull it along with me. So when we talk about, she finally dragged me to this chick flick, we're saying that I didn't want to go. She dragged me. I didn't want to go. If I had a choice, I wouldn't go. But she was my girlfriend and she dragged me. Think she grabs your arm and pulls you to the movie. It probably didn't literally happen like that, but we say, she dragged me to this chick flick, just meaning that she wanted to go and she wanted me to go, but I didn't want to go. She dragged me to this chick flick. All right. Number 3. When we're talking about it, we say, I kept coming up with excuses to get out of it. And I thought I'd just explain this really quick. Say, I kept coming up with excuses. We talk about coming up with something. Again, it's one of those phrasal verbs that some people find very difficult in English. I kept coming up with excuses to get out of it. To come up with something just means to have it enter your head, to make something, or to think of something. I came up with it. A lot of times we use came up to mean invented, or, I hope you kind of get the idea. It's just, you say came up. You think of, an idea going into your brain. It's kind of what I think of, when came up. You have an idea that's here, I guess, and it comes up into your brain. Maybe it doesn't make that much sense. But when you think about came up with something, I came up with something, It means I made something, or I thought, and when I say made, I mean made it in my head. I came up with something. I thought of it for the first time. So here we say I kept coming up with excuses to get out of it. And so that case we're talking about, I kept coming up with, I kept thinking of excuses to get me out of this situation. And for the last part, another phrasal verb, to get out of it, just means to not be forced to do it. Coming up with excuses to get out of it. That means to not have to go to the movie. All right. Number 4, another really quick one. I just want to say, for number 4, I had a plan to go out and play ball. Now in English, when you say I'm going to play ball, or I had plans to play ball, it's very generic. A lot of the times people use play ball to mean baseball. It's a very American sport, I think. But really it can mean anything. They say the phrase play ball, the verb play ball, at the beginning of baseball games. So a lot of times when you say I was going to play ball, people think of baseball, but it really can mean any sport. Baseball, basketball, soccer, American football, any of those sports. You just say, I'm going to play ball with my friends. It can really mean anything, any sport that has a ball, something round. So, all right. Number 5, we say the sky just opens up and just start pouring down rain. All right. So, it's just, this is, another phrase that we use just to mean just out of, everything was fine before, and then we say the sky just opened up. You think of, you have a bucket, and you just take the bottom out of the bucket. You have something filled with water, and you just take the bottom off of it immediately. You just open it up, and all the water pours out from it. It's kind of what I think about when we talk about the sky opening up. It kind of makes it sound like we're saying it cleared, there wasn't clouds anymore. But when we say it opened up, the sky opened up and started pouring down rain, you can just think of, we have a big container of water, and we just take the bottom off it immediately. We just open it up, and all the water starts pouring down out of the bucket, or whatever was holding the water. So again, it's just a way of saying even stronger that, it wasn't raining at all, and then it just started pouring really hard rain. When we talk about pouring rain, we use pour for you have a drink and you have a cup. You pour the drink into your cup. It's not, when you think of rain, you think of individual drops. But when you think of you're pouring something, it's solid. It's a lot of water moving really fast. So we use pouring to talk about rain to mean it's coming down really fast. So the sky just opens up and just starts pouring down rain. All right, number 6. And this is a quote from he's talking about his girlfriend. And he says, "Oh, we could catch the movie today." Or, "Oh, we could catch that movie today." And in this situation, we use catch to mean the same thing as see. When I say we can catch a movie, or usually when I'm asking a friend, if they want to see a movie, I'll use catch instead of see. So, if I'm saying this sentence, I'll ask someone, hey, do you want to catch a movie with me tomorrow? Hey, do you want to catch a movie with me tomorrow? Let's slow it down a little bit. Hey, do you want to catch a movie with me tomorrow? It means the same thing as, hey, do you want to see a movie with me tomorrow? But it's a little, catch is a little bit more informal. It kind of makes it sound like last minute plan. When you say, do you want to catch a movie? You think of catching something. Maybe there's a bug flying around in the sky and you catch it. You think, it wasn't a plan. You just saw it and you caught it. When you say, do you want to catch a movie? It means, it kind of sounds spontaneous or last minute, or, you didn't have a lot of planning go into it. Just, do you want to catch a movie? When we say it like that. All right, number 7. I say, in the story it says, she just completely blindsided me. Just completely blindsided me. So when we talk about being blindsided, first of all, when you think of the word, it's 2 words pushed together. Blind and sided. Blind-sided. And so the first word, blind. When you talk about blind, you mean you can't see. If you can't see, you're blind. I can see, but some people have a disease and they're blind. They can't see. Their eyes don't work. And so that's blind. And then when we say side, it just means, this is a side, this is a side, this is a side, just parts of a shape. So when we talk about a blind side, it means when we put those 2 together, blind side means a side of something that you can't see. Over here is my blind side because I can't see what's happening right here. It's my blind side. I'm blind to what is happening right here because I can't see it. So this is part of my blind side. And when we say blindsided, when we make it a verb, we add the ed to the end. When we turn it into a verb, blindsided, she completely blindsided me. That means she did something that I wasn't expecting, or she did something that was surprising to me. I was sitting there wanting to play sports, and she came up to me and said, hey, you want to see that movie? I thought I had a plan for the day, so I wasn't thinking about her and her movie that I didn't want to see. I was just thinking of my plans that I had for today. So when she asked me about the movie, she blindsided me. She came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it, and because of that, I didn't have a plan ready. I didn't have any excuse ready when she said that, when she, asked me if I wanted to see that movie. I didn't have any excuse ready, so I had to go because I couldn't come up with anything. I couldn't think of an excuse why not to. So she blindsided me, just, came out of nowhere. We use it quite a bit. You can think of, I think a lot about at work. I was working on one project at work, or I was working on one thing at work, and someone else just blindsided me with another project. I was kind of working on this thing, And someone else comes up to me and tells me I need to work on this thing too. They surprised me. They blindsided me. All right. Number 8. Said, I tried to come up with something real quick. I tried to come up with something real quick. And again, come up, we used it earlier in the story, coming up. I kept coming up with excuses. Here's the same thing, just to think of. I tried to come up with something. That means I tried to think of something, or I tried to have an idea. I tried to make an idea in my head. I tried to come up with something real quick. All right, so I tried to come up with something real quick. And with real quick, back when I taught classes, I had never thought of this before, but a lot of my students had questions about real quick because we use it a lot in English. And you'd think we would say really quick, but we don't. I mean, we do say that too, but we say real quick a lot as well. It always becomes a long explanation because you hear people say real quick a lot, especially in this part of the country where I'm at. Someone says, I'm going to do something really quick. I'm going to go do that really quick. That means I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to do it in a short period of time. When someone says, I'm going to do something real quick, that means do something in a relatively short period of time. When I talk about doing something really quick, I say, I'm going to go to the store really quick. That means I'm going to run there as fast as I can. Or I'm going to get in my car and go as fast as my car can go to get to the store. I'm going to go to the store really quick. But when I say I'm going to go to the store real quick, it has a different meaning. It doesn't mean I'm going to hurry. It doesn't mean I'm going to go to the store fast. It kind of means I'm just going to go to the store without any distractions. I'm going to go to the store real quick. I'm just going to do that one thing. I'm not going to get gas afterwards. I'm not going to go stop and pick up something from another store or run other tasks, do other tasks, or do other errands. I'm just going to go to the store and come back. It really doesn't say anything about the speed in which you're doing it. It's just saying, when you say I tried to do something real quick, or I'm going to do something real quick, it just means I'm going to go do it, and that's my priority. That's what I need to do. It's not really relevant right here in this story, but I had a lot of people who would ask me about that. Why do we use real quick instead of really quick? So just wanted to kind of give that quick explanation. Real quick. And so that was number 8. So when he said, I tried to think of something real quick, probably should have said really quick, because in this case we're talking about coming up with something fast. But it's just said real quick. So it's not really relevant here in the story, but it's just something interesting to know. All right, number 9, say. When we're talking about the story, when he's making fun of the movie in this case, and for number 9 he says, and they love each other so much, isn't life wonderful? I just want, you know, I really want you to look at that part of the story and listen to the tone that he's saying it with, because, you know, exactly, he's making fun of it and being sarcastic. And it has a lot to do with what, you know, he's making fun of what's usually in these movies. You know, I'm not sure if you've seen American romance movies, but they're very stereotypical. They're very, they have a very, they're pretty simple, you know, and that's kind of what he was making fun of here when he's talking about them, you know. Oh, the boy meets the girl, they don't like each other, then they like each other. Oh, and they live forever. Isn't life wonderful? Just making fun of the story, just kind of making a joke out of it. So, all right. Then number 10, he's, you know, when, again, we're getting into a little bit of culture here. When the girlfriend asks him if he liked the movie, and he says to himself, I know that's a trap. That's number 10. And I know that's a trap. You know, it's kind of a thing, you know, when he didn't like the movie. He really didn't like the movie. And because of that, you know, and his girlfriend probably knew, or his girlfriend or his wife probably knew that he didn't like the movie too. So she asked him if, you know, what he thought about the movie, kind of knowing the answer. And, you know, when he says it, you know, that was a trap, that means she was kind of trying, you know, she was trying to get me in trouble. You know, she was asking me a question that I think she knew the answer to. And because of that, you know, she asked me, what did you think of the movie? And I say, oh, I didn't really like it. And then she starts a fight or something like that. You know, she gets angry at me because I didn't like a movie that she liked. So that's kind of what he meant by, you know, it was a trap. Or, yeah, in number 10, I know that's a trap. All right, so number 11. And, you know, this is a long part that's a quote from the girlfriend. And, you know, he's talking what his girlfriend was saying to him. You know, why aren't we like them? Why aren't we more spontaneous? Why don't you ever grab me and hold me up in the rain? And, you know, again, these are a couple of stereotypes from romantic movies in the U.S. These are things that happen a lot in romantic movies in the U.S. And so when she says, why aren't we more spontaneous? When we talk about being spontaneous, we're talking about not having plans. You know, not saying, today we're going to do this thing. Tomorrow we're going to do this thing. The next day we're going to do this thing. That's not spontaneous. Spontaneous would be, you know, I wake up in the morning and I say, today we're going to go to Italy. You know, it's just, it's not planned. It's just out of nowhere. That's spontaneous. You know, not having set plans this day, this day, this day, but coming up with them, making the plans every day as you live. So, you know, it's kind of a common thing in those type of movies that they say, you know, it's so good to be spontaneous. These people, they're so in love. And every day they wake up and do some crazy thing because they're in love. So they're spontaneous. And then the last one, you know, why don't you ever grab me and hold me up in the rain? It's another stereotype or another really common thing from romance movies in the US, which is that, you know, when the man and woman are in love, it's raining outside and they go to, the man, he's in his car outside and he gets out of his car and the woman just runs to him in the rain and he picks her up and holds her and kisses her. It's a really just stereotypical romantic scene from an American movie. So that was number 11. Okay, number 12. We say, she's asking all these questions beforehand. And for number 12, we say, I just have to keep batting them away left and right, trying not to start a fight. So when I say batting them away, the gesture kind of helps. Batting something is to hit it. I'm batting things right now. Batting them away left and right. Now when we say we're doing something left and right, it means there's a lot of stuff happening. When I say I'm batting stuff away left and right, I'm not talking about the hands I'm using. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff that's coming towards me. There's a lot of stuff that's trying to attack me. And so I have to be batting it away on both sides. It's just saying it's really it's really a busy situation. I've got a lot of things happening to me. So I'm not just batting them away. I'm batting them away left and right and left and right. There's things coming at me from all around. And, I explained the literal meaning of this. And I'll finish it. I'll explain the rest of it and then get into the metaphor. So we say I have to keep batting them away left and right, trying not to start a fight. And this comes after the girlfriend asks all these questions. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And what it is, when he says it, batting them away left and right, he's talking about her questions that she's asking. It's kind of a condescending way to talk about this situation, condescending to the girlfriend. But I say, she asks me a question and I bat it away. That means, I come up with a good answer to tell her so that she's not mad. I bat the question away. Then she asks me another question and I come up with another good answer and I bat that one away. But she keeps coming. She has a lot of questions. So I have to keep batting them away left and right, trying not to start a fight. It's a little funny because it rhymes, but whatever. All right, number 13. We're getting close. I say she's pretty picky, though. She's pretty picky, though. When we say that someone is picky, they're picky, we mean they're very selective. They don't get entertained easily, or they don't get excited or happy easily. They're very picky, They most of the movies they see they don't like. They really like a couple things, and they only want to see those things. You say they're very picky. You say someone's a picky eater. When you say someone's a picky eater, you mean they won't eat anything. They don't just eat what someone gives them. They really have one or two things that they really like to eat, and that's all they want to eat. They're a picky eater. They only like a couple of things. In this case, we're saying she's picky about movies. So we say she's pretty picky, though. And, because the whole time we're talking about movies, you can understand she's picky about movies. And then right after that, number 14, say she's pretty picky, though. And then number 14, I'm out of the woods for, a couple of, let's see. Yeah, number 14. We're going to go ahead and put 14 and 15 together. They're very similar. So we say, so I'm out of the woods for, another 3 or 4 weeks until another one of them comes out. So we say, I'm out of the woods. I'm out of the woods. Very common metaphor in English. When I say I'm out of the woods, I mean, I used to be in trouble. I used to be in a dangerous or bad situation, but now I'm not. You think if you're in the woods, you're in danger. There are animals and different things that can attack you and kill you and eat you. I don't know. A lot of bad things that can happen in the woods. And once you get, here's the woods. Once you get out of the woods and you're in a field and it's open and you're not in trouble anymore because you can kind of see what's happening. You were in the woods, you were in trouble, but now you're out of the woods and now you're okay. So we use it a lot in English just to mean I was in a bad situation or a situation that I didn't like or that I didn't want. But now I'm in a better situation. That situation is over. That situation has been fixed. I don't have to worry about that situation anymore. I'm out of the woods. In this case, we're talking about seeing a movie I didn't want to see. I saw it, and she likes those kind of movies, but now we saw it, so I'm out of the woods. The situation that I didn't like is now over. And then the last one for number 15, we say, I'm out of the woods for, and then number 15, another 3 or 4 weeks until another one of them comes out. So say I'm out of the woods for 3 or 4 weeks until another one of them comes out. And when we're saying another one of them here, we're talking about the romance movies that my girlfriend likes. I said she's pretty picky, so I don't have to worry about it for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm out of the woods for 3 or 4 weeks, but after that, another one of the movies that she likes is going to come out or be released or be made. When we talk about a movie coming out, we're saying, they make it, and then when it comes out, that means you can see it. Say the movie came out today, or the movie came out yesterday. That means yesterday was the first day you could see the movie. I say the movie came out today. That means today is the first day I can see the movie. If I say the movie's going to come out tomorrow, that means I can't see it until tomorrow. So we'd say we're going to wait another 3 or 4 weeks until another one of them comes out. That means another one of these movies that she likes gets made. So that was the story. This one was a little shorter than the last couple of them. It was a little fun too. So, what did you think about the tone and the general idea of the story? Yeah, it was a little, there were a lot of little things in the story that were condescending to the girlfriend, calling the movie a chick flick, talking, the way he mocked her voice, using the high-pitched voice to talk about her, talking about batting away the questions that she asked. It's all a little condescending to the girlfriend or the wife that he's talking about. And because of that, it does still kind of have that negative tone to it. This is how the story would be told to your buddy or to your friend who probably someone who doesn't know your wife, so he's not going to tell her. Because if your girlfriend or wife knew that you told the story like this, she would be very upset. So, because it is pretty rude towards her to tell the story like this. But yeah, that's it. It's a story chick flick. Story number 8 here at EnglishZeal.com. Thanks, guys. Thanks again for joining us here at EnglishZeal.com. If you want more information, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/EnglishZeal, or you can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EnglishZeal. Or if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or requests, you can send us an email at info@EnglishZeal.com. Thank you, guys.